No, I do not reject science. I have not crawled so long, flat on my belly with my nails in the earth, through the innumerable ramifications of its caverns, without perceiving far in front of me, at the end of the obscure gallery, a light, a flame, a something, the reflection, no doubt, of the dazzling central laboratory where the patient and the wise have found out God. Naught is your science of man, naught is your science of the stars. I am still crawling. I am scratching my face and knees against the pebbles of the subterranean pathway. I catch a glimpse. I do not contemplate. I do not read. I spell out. One comes forth from the cavern only with white hair, but only those with dark hair enter it. Science alone knows well how to hollow, wither, and dry up human faces. She needs not to have old age bring her faces already furrowed. Alas, alas! Small things come at the end of great things. A tooth triumphs over a mass. The Nile rat kills the crocodile. The swordfish kills the whale. The book will kill the edifice. Where women are honored, the divinities are rejoiced. Where they are despised, it is useless to pray to God. The mouth of a woman is constantly pure. It is a running water. It is a ray of sunlight. The name of a woman should be agreeable, sweet, fanciful. It should end in long vowels, and resemble words of benediction. Yes, the sage is right. In truth, Maria, Sophia, La Esmeralda. Damnation! Always that thought! For some time I have failed in all my experiments. One fixed idea possesses me and sears my brain like fire. One wretched thought is sufficient to render a man weak and beside himself. Let fate take its course. Oh, yes! Behold here a symbol of all. She flies. She is joyous. She is just born. She seeks the spring, the open air, liberty. Oh, yes! But let her come in contact with the fatal network, and the spider issues from it. The hideous spider! Poor dancer! Poor predestined fly! Let things take their course, Master Jacques. 'Tis fate. Alas, Claude, thou art the spider. Claude, thou art the fly also. Thou wert flying towards learning, light, the sun. Thou hadst no other care but to reach the open air, the full daylight of eternal truth. But in precipitating thyself towards the dazzling window which opens upon the other world, upon the world of brightness, intelligence, and science, blind fly, senseless, learned man, thou hadst not perceived the subtle spider's web, stretched by destiny betwixt the light and thee. Thou hast flung thyself headlong into it, and now thou art struggling with head broken and mangled wings between the iron antennae of fate. Master Jacques, Master Jacques, let the spider work its will. O madman! And even couldst thou have broken through that formidable web with thy gnat's wings, thou believest that thou couldst have reached the light? Alas, that pane of glass which is further on, that transparent obstacle, that wall of crystal, harder than brass, which separates all philosophies from the truth, how wouldst thou have overcome it? O vanity of science! How many wise men come flying from afar to dash their heads against thee! How many systems vainly fling themselves buzzing against that eternal pane! I was happy, or at least I fancied that I was so. I was innocent. No head was lifted so high and so proudly as mine. Priests and doctors consulted me. Science was all in all to me. It was a sister, and a sister sufficed me. In spite, however, of my determination to acknowledge no other influence, that power of nature which, silly youth as I was, I had hoped to crush for life, had more than once convulsively shaken the chain of those iron vows which bind me, miserable man that I am, to the cold stones of the altar. But fasting, Prayer, study, the mortifications of the cloister, restored to the spirit the dominion over the passions. I shunned the sex. Besides, I needed but to open a book, and all the impure vapors of my brain were dispelled by the splendor of science. In a few minutes the dark things of the earth fled far away, and I found myself calm and serene in the soothing light of everlasting truth. So long as the demons sent only vague shadows of women to attack me, so long as they passed casually before my eyes, at church, in the streets, in the fields, and scarcely recurred to my thoughts, I vanquished him with ease. Alas! If victory has not remained with me, it is the fault of God, who has not made man equal in strength to the demon. One day, as I was sitting at the window of my cell, I was reading. The window looked upon an open place. I heard the sound of a tambourine. Vexed at being disturbed in my reverie, I cast my eyes upon the place. What I there saw, and what others saw besides me, was not a sight made for human eyes. There in the middle of the pavement, it was noon, brilliant sunshine, a creature was dancing, a creature so beautiful that she might have served as a model for the Mother of the Graces. Her eyes were black and splendid. Amid her dark hair there were locks which, saturated as it were by the sun's beams, shone like threads of gold. Around her head, in her black tresses, there were pieces of metal which sparkled in the sun and formed a coronet of stars for her brow. Her azure robe, besprinkled with 1,000 spangles, glistened like a summer night. Her feet, in their rapid movements, appeared indistinct, like the spokes of a wheel that is whirling quickly around. Her brown and supple arms were tied and untied around her body like two scarfs. Her figure was of surpassing beauty. Oh, the resplendent form, which had something luminous about it even in the broad sunlight! Surprised, charmed, intoxicated, I could not forbear watching thee. I looked till I shuddered. I felt that the hand of fate was upon me. Half fascinated already, I endeavored to grasp at something to break my fall. I recollected the snares which Satan had previously spread for me. The creature before me possessed that superhuman beauty which can proceed only from heaven or from hell. She was not a mere girl, molded of our common clay, and faintly lighted within by the flickering ray of a female spirit. It was an angel, but an angel of darkness, of fire, not of light. The moment when these thoughts were crossing my brain, I saw near her a goat, a beast which associates with witches. It looked at me and laughed. The noontide sun tipped its horns with flame. I then perceived the snare of the demon, and had no further doubt that thou wert come from hell, and come for my perdition. I believed so. I believe it still. Meanwhile the charm began to operate by degrees. Thy dancing turned my brain. I felt the mysterious spell upon me. All that would have waked in my soul was lulled to sleep, and, like men perishing in the snow, I took pleasure in yielding to this slumber. All at once I heard thee begin to sing. What could I do? Thy singing was more fascinating than thy dancing. I would have fled. Impossible. I was riveted, rooted to the spot. I was forced to remain till thou hadst finished. My feet were ice, my head a furnace. At length, perhaps in pity to me, thy song ceased, and I saw thee depart. The reflection of the dazzling vision, the sounds of the enchanting music, vanished by degrees from my eyes, and died away in my ears. I then sunk into the corner of the window, stiff and helpless as a fallen statue. The vesper bell awoke me. I fled, but alas! something had fallen within me which I could not raise up. Something had come upon me from which I could not flee. Yes! Dating from that day there was within me a man whom I did not know. I tried to make use of all my remedies. The cloister, the altar, work, books, follies. Oh, how hollow does science sound when one in despair dashes against it a head full of passions! Do you know, young girl, what I saw thenceforth between my book and me? You, your shade, the image of the luminous apparition which had one day crossed the space before me. But this image had no longer the same color. It was somber, funereal, gloomy as the black circle which long pursues the vision of the impudent man who has gazed intently at the sun. Unable to rid myself of it since I heard your song humming ever in my head, beheld your feet dancing always on my bravery, felt even at night, in my dreams, your form in contact with my own, I desired to see you again, to touch you, to know who you were, to see whether I should really find you like the ideal image which I had retained of you, to shatter my dream, perchance with reality. At all events, I hoped that a new impression would efface the first, and the first had become insupportable. I sought you. I saw you once more. Calamity! When I had seen you twice, I wanted to see you 1,000 times. I wanted to see you always. Then, how to stop myself on that slope of hell? Then I no longer belonged to myself. The other end of the thread which the demon had attached to my wings he had fastened to his foot. I became vagrant and wandering like yourself. I waited for you under porches. I stood on the lookout for you at the street corners. I watched for you from the summit of my tower. Every evening I returned to myself more charmed, more despairing, more bewitched, more lost. When one does wrong, one must do it thoroughly. 'Tis madness to halt midway in the monstrous. The extreme of crime has its deliriums of joy. A priest and a witch can mingle and delight upon the truss of straw in a dungeon. Every evil thought is inexorable, and insists on becoming a deed. But where I believed myself to be all-powerful, fate was more powerful than I. Alas! 'Tis fate which has seized you and delivered you to the terrible wheels of the machine which I had constructed doubly. Within me there is winter, ice, despair. I have night in my soul. Oh, young girl, have pity upon me! You think yourself unhappy. Alas, alas, you know not what unhappiness is. Oh, to love a woman, to be a priest, to be hated, to love with all the fury of one's soul, to feel that one would give for the least of her smiles, one's blood, one's vitals, one's fame, one's salvation, one's immortality and eternity, this life and the other, to regret that one is not a king, emperor, archangel, God, in order that one might place a greater slave beneath her feet, to clasp her night and day in one's dreams and one's thoughts, and to behold her in love with the trappings of a soldier, and to have nothing to offer her but a priest's dirty cassock, which will inspire her with fear and disgust, to be present with one's jealousy and one's rage, while she lavishes on a miserable, blustering imbecile treasures of love and beauty. To behold that body whose form burns you, that bosom which possesses so much sweetness, that flesh palpitate and blush beneath the kisses of another. Oh, heaven, to love her foot, her arm, her shoulder, to think of her blue veins, of her brown skin, until one writhes for whole nights together on the pavement of one's cell, and to behold all those caresses which one has dreamed of end in torture, to have succeeded only in stretching her upon the leather bed. Oh, these are the veritable pincers reddened in the fires of hell. Oh, blessed is he who is sawn between two planks, or torn in pieces by 4 horses. Do you know what that torture is, which is imposed upon you for long nights by your burning arteries, your bursting heart, your breaking head, your teeth-gnawed hands, mad tormentors which turn you incessantly, as upon a red-hot gridiron, to a thought of love, of jealousy, and of despair? Young girl, mercy, a truce for a moment, a few ashes on these live coals. Wipe away, I beseech you, the perspiration which trickles in great drops from my brow. Child, torture me with one hand, but caress me with the other. Have pity, young girl, have pity upon me! If you come from hell, I will go thither with you. I have done everything to that end. The hell where you are shall be paradise. The sight of you is more charming than that of God. If thou didst but know what my love for thee is, it is fire, it is molten lead, it is 1,000 daggers in my heart. Destiny gives us to one another. I am going to decide as to your life. You will decide my soul. Condemn not both of us. Would that thou knowest how I love thee, and what a heart is mine. Oh, what an abandonment of all virtue! What a desperate desertion of myself! A doctor, I make a mock at science. A gentleman, I disgrace my name. A priest, I violate the most solemn vows and renounce my God. And all for thy sake, enchantress, and thou rejectest the wretched one. Oh, I must tell thee all still more, something even yet more horrible, most horrible. Cain, what hast thou done with thy brother? What have I done with him, Lord? I have taken him unto me. I have fed him. I have brought him up. I have loved him. I have idolized him. And I have slain him. Yes, Lord. He it was whose head was but now dashed before mine eyes against the stones of thy temple, and it was on my account, and on account of this female, on her account, on her account, on her account! What? Have I wept? And hast thou coldly beheld me weep? Knowest thou, girl, that those tears are lava? Is it then true that thy sex are not moved by anything that can befall the man they hate? Wert thou to see me die, thou wouldst laugh. But I wish not thy death. One word, a single word of kindness. Tell me not that thou lovest me. Say only that thou wishest me well. It shall suffice. I will save thee. Otherwise, oh, the hour is passing. I implore thee by all that is sacred, wait not till I am again transformed into stone, like that gibbet which also claims thee. Consider that I hold both our fates in my hand, that I am mad. Oh, it is terrible, that I may let all drop, and that there is beneath us a bottomless abyss, down which I shall follow thee in thy fall to all eternity. One kind word, but a single word! I will have thee. Thou wilt not have me for a slave. Thou shalt have me for a master. Thou shalt be mine. I have a den whither I will drag you. You will follow me. You will be obliged to follow me, or I will deliver you up. You must die, my beauty, or be mine. Belong to the priest, belong to the apostate, belong to the assassin. This very night, do you hear? Come, joy, kiss me, mad girl. The tomb or my bed.